What's going on, guys? And welcome and thank you for tuning in to another CMA Connected presented by SiriusXM. I'm your host, Ben Wu, for this lunchtime learning session. And man, we are past the halfway mark. We are past the halfway mark in October. And that means we are edging dangerously close to that time of the year where most of us dread. And that is where we have to bring back the clock and have even more darkness consume our lives. But that's okay because we have solutions for that. Because October is a huge month, especially in Canada here for the lighting industry. All month long, we've been talking about different lighting options, and this one today is a new announcement. Our friends over at Trends Electronics, based in BC, have taken on a big line, a huge line, in fact, one of the biggest in Racesport Lighting. Today, they're going to be joining us to talk to us about the relationship and all the offering that Racesport has to offer. So, without further ado, let's go ahead to connect with our friend Grant McFatter over at Trends Electronics and get the scoop on this new line that Trends has taken on. What's going on, Grant?
Good morning, Ben. How you doing, man?
I'm doing good. I know I started this episode with a little bit of doom and gloom because who likes, 5 o'clock in the afternoon and it's dark outside.
It was dark this morning driving into work. Never mind nighttime. It's crazy. It's yeah, winter's coming.
It's coming. We don't like to talk about it, but
no.
For the dealers out there, it represents a huge opportunity. A lot of people, I say traditionally, I think you can agree with me on this one, Grant. Traditionally in Canada, 12-volt specialty retailers have focused a lot on remote start. It's kind of like the traditional time of year for remote start. But in the last few years, lighting has taken up so much space. Is this something that, well, obviously it's something that you've noticed as well?
Yeah, we've been watching that for the last few years. I've actually been dealing with Bruce, our rep out of Portland on Raceport. Probably we've been chatting back and forth since 2018. So, Trends traditionally doesn't do any remote starter products, or we're kind of seasonal with the product mix we have. So when I looked at getting into lighting, I wanted something to encompass not just one category, and Raceport ticks all the boxes on the amount of product they have available to us. They have, what don't they have is more like.
Oh my God. When you first messaged that to me, I was like, oh my God, you guys took on the beast. Raceport's been so present. We look at our friends, our neighbors down south in the States, they're always present at the shows. They've got, great social media presence. It's a known brand. In fact, I'm somewhat surprised that the opportunities there. Good for you, right? Great for Trends to hook up with a brand like this, which is so established. We're going to learn a little bit about the brand and offering today. But before we go there, what does this mean for Trends dealers? I mean, how deep? This is like a series come in where you bring in a couple bulbs. Like, let's establish this here.
We're going to walk before we run, but yeah, we have access to the full catalog. So there's over 5,300 SKUs in their product category. So yeah, we're not going to have everything in stock all at once. I'd like to, but we'd probably have to double our warehouse. But yeah, so eventually, we'll get there. But we're going to walk. I've been talking to several dealers on what products they want to see and stuff like that. So we'll get it going. It's a category, a new category for me personally. I mentioned that to Steve when we first were talking about getting going. Was the category kind of scares me a little bit because. I'm not in that scene myself personally, but I know it's a massive category, and these guys certainly, like I said, check all the boxes for.
They not only check off all the boxes, but I'll tell you, here's my prediction for you, Grant, for Trends. You guys are so strong on the marine side of things. I think you're going to take off in the marine offering right out of the gate because you already have that network. But for all the other dealers tuning in, if you're dealing with Trends, whether some of the other great brands, the Mosconis, the MTXs, and all that other stuff, what a great add-on. Right, and we're going to talk about all these opportunities and like you say, the check boxes that this brand represents.
Yep, absolutely.
All right, so what do you say we get on some product specialists here so we can dive in and learn all about this brand?
You betcha, man. Let's do it.
We have in the back studio here, we'd like to welcome for the first time to CMA Connected. We've got Ignacio, who's their inside rep sales, and we have Mr. Presidente, Mr. Steve himself, joining us. What's going on, fellas?
Hello, gentlemen. How we doing?
Oh, pumped. Always pumped, ready to learn. It's always fun when we have a Canadian distributor pick up a new line that we get to showcase and talk about. And well, we say new line. Let's preface this. I mean, Raceport is not a new line. You guys have been around for quite a bit. I know we have a presentation that kind of walks through that. But before we jump to that, just real quick, how do you guys feel about finally having a partnership like this in Canada? Steve, I'll ask you that question.
We're excited about Trends. Like Grant said, we spent a lot of time talking up to launching Racesport Lighting at Trends Electronics. we definitely identified them as a premier and key partner in Canada. And we definitely wanted to duplicate our footprint and success that we've had in the United States into Canada. And we knew we needed a key partner. And so talking with Grant and some of his team, it was very clear that we picked the right partner.
I got to say, I really like what I see here. It feels good. I'm happy to see Trends step into the lighting, even with Grant's hesitation, just from a personal connection standpoint. But make no mistake, man, you know, in our recent training, just to share something with our listeners, you know, we did that big fall workshops training event. You know, lighting was the #2 most viewed day. So what does that tell you? There is an interest there.
Well, Ben, I'll tell you, I've been soft bombing a few dealers with this product information, and I probably spent the last 2 weeks more than 60% of my day flipping through the catalog because I'm getting inquiries on this and that and so on and so forth. So I know it's going to be big. It's going to be big.
All right. Well, why don't we tell the good folks watching what it is to expect and what is Racesport all about? I'm going to go ahead and put this up here, and let's put that to full screen, shall we? And maybe I'll let Steve kind of lead the way.
Absolutely.
And walk us through this presentation.
Sounds good. Well, obviously, since it's our first time on, as much as we would just love to dive into technical aptitudes and products, we do want to let the audience that may not be familiar with Racesport Lighting know who we are and what we do. And so kind of the first part, if we go through a few slides, it's the Racesport advantage. So real quick on this is really just a cover presentation. A couple keynote things on here is we are a CMA member, we are an MEA member, and we also do a lot of data with a lot of companies that are data intensive. So we are ACES and PIES compliant, which is really key for big companies that need to load a lot of data. And we are a Philips enabled partner, so you'll see some of those icons on there. That's key because Philips honestly owns most of the library on the original LED diode technology. So if you're not a Philips enabled partner, you are at risk because they will come get you. And so Philips enabled means we have full access to their library, their LED diode technology, and our resellers get to inherit that privilege. And so that's that. Going through this is kind of our timeline. Obviously, we're coming up on year 15. We were founded in 2007, and you know, I'm not going to go through every year for the sake of time, but as you can see, you know, very quickly we moved into a national distribution. 2011, got ourselves involved with CMA. You'll see the next few years we became the premier lighting vendor for, you know, a few main groups buying groups that are well known in the automotive industry and within the 12-volt industry, like the Mesa Retail Specialist, Tint World franchises, things like that. You'll see some other things on here for some patented awards for some of our LED headlight kits, and you'll see the launch of Racesport Lighting. Now, I will mention on this timeline, Racesport Lighting shows in 2018. It was actually started in 14. 18 we felt was our official launch at the IBEX Boat Builder Expo in Tampa Bay, Florida, and so that's why we put that on 2018. And then, which brings us to this year, 2021, where our main focus has been to launch raceportlighting.ca and again establish a partner in the 12-volt like trends to kind of launch that.
I like that. So that's going to be a resource for Canadian customers and dealers, right?
Absolutely.
Very
and
nice.
So it really mimics and mimes our USA site, except that it's very specifically built to the Canadian dealer. And trends, when you go to authorized distributors, is exclusive on that, and premier at the top spot. So, you know, even if dealers were to use the portal, they're ultimately going to get moved to trends to do business.
2 quick points here. I want our audience to know. I mean, 2007, like you guys have been in the game for pretty much the entire game. Since the game has been around, you know, you look at 09 being the aftermarket canvas HID conversion kit. I remember those days. You know, so you guys you've seen the trends, the transformation of the industry from that to now LED technology, of course. The other thing I want to point out here, you guys are, where are you located?
We are in Northern Illinois, just an hour outside the city of Chicago.
So you're not far from us. You're not down south.
Yeah, no, actually, we can reach Canada pretty quick from here. There's definitely a couple cross docks and ports that it's almost like it's the backyard.
Perfect. We are the 53rd state or 52nd state, apparently. So anyhow, all right. Wow. So okay, let's continue. Industries that we serve.
Absolutely. I'm not going to spend a lot of time on this slide, but I mean, everybody can kind of see it. As we've evolved over the last 15 years, these are the industries that we mainly participate in and serve, almost in a ranking order, to be honest with you. And actually, if you look at it, almost in a timeline order. We originally entered in 2007 the 12-volt mobile electronics industry, and so that is our core and top industry. But as the time went on and we began to enter other industries, you can kind of see where that laid out. RV being one of the newer ones at the bottom. Really just in the last 2 years, we began to develop RV products as we've grown our RV customer base. And I think we'll be starting to do a lot more RV industry shows as well. Definitely as recreational vehicle sales increase in marine, power sports, motorcycle, RV, even custom golf carts or cars, as some people call them. We're there. We have lighting products for it.
If you just take off that title and just say the progression of the 12-volt industry at large, that's pretty much it right there. That's kind of what everything we do here at CMA is covering, all these categories. But more importantly, trends, you're casting a wide web here for many different retailers, not just necessarily 12-volt specialty, because like I said, like Steve said, RV and motorcycle and power sports, which is very, very interesting.
One thing I'll just mention, because I don't know if it's on any of the slides here, but one of the things that really excited me about dealing with Raceport is when you go onto their website, they do not sell to our customers. They don't sell to your customers, Mr. Retailer. They don't have a buy now section on their website.
Oh, very important to know.
So they are not your competitor. They do not sell to your end users. There is a buy local and a buy online, but that is referred either to us or to an existing dealer base. So again, I think that's an important part, because there's a lot of other brands that will sell direct to your customer. Raceport will not.
Very good. And Trends will not, in effect.
No,
Canadian
we will
customers.
not either. Correct.
All right. Very good. Back to you, Steve.
All right. Yeah. And this slide, I'm not going to go over in great detail. We could spend 30 minutes on this discussing. This is something we, at our annual manufacturer rep meetings, we always go over and watch the pie shift from year to year. This is this year. All I'm really going to say in summary on this is, if you take a look at the first 3 or 4 sections, which make up almost 50% of this pie, that's all forward lighting. That's all low beams, high beams, and fog lights, with some OEM replacements on vehicles that are equipped with HID or LED. From the factory, we have those replacement parts. And so when you look at that, when you get into the lighting category, if dealers are looking to, where should I start? I mean, look no further than forward lighting. This is our national pie, 5,000 SKUs, over 50 categories. No doubt that the forward lighting market is where we want to focus. Now, obviously, some of those industries we talked about, marine, motorcycle, Jeep specific lighting, those make up some other sections of this pie, which are still significant business. But no doubt, as they get into the industry, they're going to want to focus on those. And that's really the summary of this pie.
And that really doesn't surprise me, because it's pretty much half and half. Half is forward, and then the other half is accessories. So, very cool. So the Raceport Advantage, do tell.
Absolutely. I'm actually going to hand the mic over to Ignacio, and he's going to bring you through the next few slides and talk about what's going on in our test lab and some of our dealer value-added services.
So, in reality, we do a lot of testing processes with our product. We want to make sure that the quality of this product, that's on the road out there for Raceport, is good quality. As you see on the slide here, you'll see rigorous testing that we do, starting off with the first one, 24-hour salt water submersion. That will tell you, how this product is going to react to that type of water. It's going to tell you, if it's going to corrode through wire, or, if the gaskets in this product is going to be, good enough to where it's not going to let any water seep in. So it's going to give you that, it tells us, hey, at this point, will it pass this test? And if it doesn't, then we're going to move towards something different at that point in regards to that. The next thing after that will be a lux output reading. You know, in the headlight forward lighting, lux is what you're looking for, and we'll talk a little bit more in regards to what that is. You want the most lux output because that is something that will be on the road. So the higher the lux output, the better you will be able to see. So we do that with all our product. We make sure that it is a good high output. We want to make sure that it, you know, the brand out there will do what it needs to do. The next thing after that will be the operating temperature reading. Basically what that is going to show, you know, when this product is on, what kind of scenarios are we going to run into. You know, we have a lot of customers always worrying about heat. You know, of course, that is a big factor, especially on the headlight systems. So that is something that we test to make sure that it doesn't melt anything at that point. We don't have to worry about anything, you know, if a wire's going to melt, if, you know, when it's in the housing is going to melt, you know, any of that, you know, problematic stuff that could happen. We want to make sure that that does not happen. So we test and we verify to make sure that it does not get to that point at that point.
It's kind of important.
Yes, indeed.
Your car doesn't burn down.
Yeah, exactly. The next thing will be a 42-day current cycle. That is basically what it says. You know, we're going to have it on for 42 days. You know, we want to make sure that, you know, it does not burn out, you know, if it's, you know, on, you know, so you don't necessarily have a product on for 42 days in your vehicle, but it simulates, you know, it being on and off for so many times in your vehicle. Or, you know, if it's a light bar, if it's a headlight bulb or anything like that. The current cycle will just allow us to know after those 42 days, what is it going to do? You know, did it burn out? You know, did it flicker within the, you know, 30 days, whatever the case may be. So it gives us an idea of what their product will do.
I'll throw in that 42 days in the automotive industry testing replicates 200,000 miles on a vehicle. And so that's why it's important that we want to make sure that our products last the lifetime of the vehicle.
Yeah, it's pretty much a life cycle of the product. Yeah.
I want to clarify something here. You're saying that all your products go through this entire series?
They do. There is some exceptions. For example, like LED headlights do not need to go through a 42-day freshwater submersion.
Right.
That's not.
But the marine lights, for example.
But the marine lights do. Even our light bars for automotive go through a 42-day freshwater submersion, even though that's not even their application intent.
Yeah. So you're like a wine factory. You've got these marked barrels, right? From 42 days ago of these light bulbs that have been on for 42 days.
Yeah,
I got you. Some stuff gets pretty gnarly, I will tell you on that.
Like they've got a pretty cool video of it. I've seen some stuff with like moss and stuff growing on it. It's crazy.
I'm going to tell you, we got a lot to cover, but I will say this. I've been through every training that you can imagine in every category. I have never seen a procedure like this for product that's this, like, what is that, 12? No, 9. 9 processes. This is very interesting, for sure.
It's probably because they don't do it. Just, you know, saying.
I'm just saying I haven't seen it. That's all I'm saying. This is pretty crazy.
Yeah, no, I mean, these are necessary testing. All of these tell us where we can classify the product, whether that be in our professional grade or whether it be in, you know, one of our, you know, street series or things like that. It tells us what the product's going to do out in the field. Ultimately, we want to get to that last step, which is on-road vehicle testing, because the lab tells us so much. But when you start to interface it with some of the vehicles, that's when we get to learn what it's really going to do out in the field. And so ultimately, it does have to get on-road vehicle tested.
And these tests are done in Illinois?
Yeah, they're actually done in our lab, which is about 50 feet from me right now.
Yeah.
All right. Cool.
So the next thing will be what we offer to the dealer. This is what we call our Raceport Nation page. So this is definitely something that we recommend for all the dealers to get into. It's all, you know, it's free. There's nothing, we don't, you know, it's all provided for you guys. It's a simple sign up. When you sign up, you'll see all the offerings that we offer for you guys, whether it's a sell sheet, you know, tech documents. We give you a dealer map to success, which we'll talk about in a little bit. You know, we'll give you a starting lineup. We Hire Our Dealers is actually a series of videos of current customers in regards to experience with Raceport. So if you're a little off, you know, if you're not too sure yet, definitely watch those videos there. Something that we recommend every customer to look into, and they tell you what Raceport is all about. So definitely, if you're not too sure yet, definitely watch those videos. You'll be happy at the end of that. We offer some turnkey marketing, and the very last thing I would say is going to be our Racesport University that we also offer for you guys too.
Funny, Racesport University, kind of like Trends University, eh, Grant?
Kind of like that. Yeah.
Kind of like
It's actually really good. I've gone on there and taken a few of the courses. It's quite good. Very good information there. You can learn at work when the customers aren't walking through the doors. You can get your learn on.
Hey, easy on that tagline.
Yeah, just real quick, Ben. I mean, Raceport Nation. It's a great site. Our dealers love it. I mean, in addition to selling dealers great products that are high quality and high performance, we try and bring all the value to the table. Giving them great products is 50% of it. The other 50 is giving them tools to be able to sell this to the consumer base.
I really like that. It's not just product information. You've got some marketing information and there's some sales info. Like that's really a 360-degree approach to support right there.
Absolutely. And then, the next slide, Ignacio, go ahead and talk to you about the university.
So as Grant said, this is something that we recommend for customers that are not too familiar with lighting overall. This will kind of explain to you, a little bit about lighting. We put in our product into these slides in there too. If you have, new salespeople that are not familiar with lighting at all, this is also free. You can sign up. There's a bunch of lessons in there that will explain to you what Lux versus Lumens is. That'll explain to you what an HID and LED bulb is. It'll explain to you a bunch of different information that you might not know. And this is also a good refresher for people that have done lighting and are not too familiar with it, with some stuff too. So I definitely recommend looking to do these trainings here. At the end of each lesson, there is a quiz. So you could always have your employees show you this, certification saying, hey, I'm done with this lesson, type of deal. Like it's all free.
I big marks for this. I love this. This really helps dealers. It also helps Trends get their sales team up to speed. Yep. And Grant himself
helps me. Yeah.
Make sure you give him the extra quiz, guys. But yeah, it's a great tool. You walk into dealers, say, "Oh, I don't really know about lighting. I don't really." Well, guess what? We have the tools to be able to keep you guys trained so that you can deal with it. Very nice. Good job, guys, on this. All right, Canada.
Yeah, I'll go ahead and jump in on this one. Obviously, we talked a little bit about it. What's important for RaceportLighting.ca is this is a B2B site. This is for the dealers and for distributors to do business. Yes, consumers, fans will end up here. We are pumping advertising dollars into this site right now so that Trends and dealers can get some exposure. But all they're going to see, they're not going to see any pricing.
Product info.
Yep, they're going to see product info, and they're going to see, buy local or buy from an authorized online dealer. That's it. And so right now, that's pretty ground level. We're looking to build those maps so that consumers have more features. So we'll be working with Grant and Trends to build that and put the right partners in place there.
Cool. All right.
Now the next slide is the vehicle fitment guide, which is again another value-added tool, and so that's right on the homepage. Dealers, as they're working with consumers, can go right to raceportlighting.ca, right on the homepage, put in the year, make, model, and then you'll see in the product type, there'll be a drop down, and they can find the products that we recommend for different areas of the vehicle, both interior and exterior.
This is clutch. You have to have this. Like, there's no way a dealer could survive without this.
Yeah, this was huge for me because I wouldn't have known. I mean, with 5,000 SKUs, I wouldn't have known which bulb, which fits car. So this was awesome for me to get to learn what fits in different vehicles.
All right.
And this next slide is a dealer map to success. Now, again, I won't spend a ton of time on this, but what we found through 15 years is what works. Why do some dealers thrive with lighting and some do a minimum amount or mediocre amount? And what we found is that with those that are thrive, we really took them through 7 steps. So we just really put those together on a roadmap, and we can almost guarantee that if a dealer gets on board with Raceport Lighting, follows these 7 steps methodically, they will have a tremendous amount of success with lighting. Again, I won't go through each one, but you can see all the way from the application process, and you'll see the last few they're about training, marketing, partnering, social media. Again, it's not just about selling them good lights. It's about giving them the tools, to really be successful. I will point out as we go into the next slide, number 4 is displays. We have over 25 professional displays, both counter and slat, all the way up to some large wall displays that are all interactive. And we do custom displays as well. And so if you go to the next slide.
Hold on. Hey, Grant, you see that one?
Yeah. I'm on it, man. Hey,
well, he said sign him up, so
I got some.
Call him. It's Keith.
I got some displays here.
There you go. Perfect.
All right.
They're coming to your store, Keith. They're coming to your store right now. I
just want to know, do we get free Ignacio decals like the guy in the bottom right here? That is Ignacio, isn't it?
Yes, it is.
That's what I thought.
The funny story, we won't get into it. That's actually Jimmy. So it's,
okay.
We'll tell that story another time. But that's pretty much Ignacio.
All right. And that's him with his mind blown in the top left corner. All right. Next slide. Next slide. Oh, there you go. The displays you were talking about.
So going to the displays, we're not showing the full gallery of 25, but you get a little bit of a hint of what we have. So these counter slats can either sit on the counter or actually connect into a slat wall system. And so we have these for a lot of core categories, different headlights. Right here, you see a picture of our marine sport lighting and our underwater and deck lights right here. It's not shown lit up, but this does light up. You can plug it in, and there's a momentary button to turn on the high power light. And so we have these for various different categories, whether it be accent lighting, forward lighting, marine lighting. And so those are available, and you can kind of daisy chain and link those in if you want to grow the category. Going in the middle one, we have some non-powered displays that kind of show you different things you can do on Jeeps or trucks. And so there's some different options there. And then we have custom displays. We do have our RS5A-1 through -4, which are stock out-of-the-box displays. What's pictured here is actually a custom display. One of our RV dealers recently that's had a lot of success with lighting and wanted to add accessories to their RV parts department had us build a custom display. And so this is something we do for a lot of customers where we build the display around the products that they carry and want to promote in their store. And what's great about this is each of those panels you see on there is magnetic and hooked up with a power bar. So if a particular panel kind of doesn't sell well or the product phases out, they don't have to replace the whole display. They can simply replace a panel and upgrade and work with us on that.
I cannot stress enough, like many categories, this is a touchy-feely category. You need to have displays. They're great in a box, but people need to be able to play and touch them without assistance of people, right? This is one of those what I call discovery experience. I'm sure Trends will have some programs for displays, right, Grant?
Absolutely, yes, sir. We will.
Yep.
All right. I'm going to adjust my seat here because we're about to dive into the product. Let's get into it.
All right. So we're actually going to get into a little bit of training on the next 3 slides just to get a general understanding before we talk about the next few products, because you got to understand what's so fabulous about the few products that Ignacio is going to go over first. And so right here, we have a slide on Lumens versus Lux, and this is something we train on a lot. And so the best way to describe it is when we're talking about lumens, we're talking about the amount of light in a sphere around the object of the light. And as much as that's great for certain products, whether that be strip lighting or whether it be tailgate light bars or interior lights, it's not a great measurement for forward lighting. What we want to know is, most importantly, is the lux, because you can have a lot of lumens but not have a lot of good projection out of the headlight lens. And that's why we measure lux with forward lighting in our lab. And so what we want to know is 25 feet down the road out of that lens, what kind of lux reading are we getting? And so we measure in lux in the lab, and we'll report the lumens on a lot of products, but we really stress the lux, especially in the forward lighting and in the light bar category, because we want to know how much usable light down the road is being measured. And so when we get into some of the products, we're going to talk lux, and sometimes other companies will talk lumens, and that gets confusing for dealers. And so we always like to train first why we talk lux. We also feel that lux is a much more dependable reading. Lumens has kind of become a overseas marketing strategy, as companies, they think that, hey, my stuff's got to be more lumens than the next guy in order to sell my product, and so they've exaggerated the lumens. I mean, I've seen.
So lumens is
it's like car audio amplifiers.
The pixels and the watts.
It's like watts versus RMS, max power versus RMS.
It's
exactly.
very much like that. You know, going back to my audio days back in the day, where there was true power amplifiers. They didn't really need to be a ton. They sounded fabulous, and then all of a sudden, there was 15,000 watt mega amplifiers, and they just weren't even
for $199.
Yeah, what they were. So it's very similar. I mean, we've seen some competitors out there claiming 18,000, 20,000 lumens. That's just not true. And the fact is, if they really had a meter, it wouldn't read exactly 20,000 lumens. So anyways, we like to read lux, and we like to actually talk about lux. And so with that, we can go on to the next slide. The other important thing that's come up, and you're going to love the solutions that come up in the next few slides, is we've always had these conversations, HID versus LED, and projectors versus non-projectors. And so up until recently, into our new P-Series Projector Perfect LED line, anytime we were training, we would always promote our Gen 6 HID kit, which is a fabulous professional-grade kit in our line that has some lifetime warranty features to it, works on CAN bus features, works perfect in projectors. And so when people would call our tech support and say, hey, I got a customer with this vehicle, we would say, is that a projector or a non-projector version? They say projector. We were always promoting the Gen 6 HID, which is a very trusted and professional grade and very high performance HID kit that we have. And as much as some of the marketplace might have got burnt in the past with inexpensive HIDs, that is not the case with the Gen 6. Matter of fact, a lot of guys that even are LED fans, when they run into a vehicle that they're having a difficult time with, will call us and say, send me a Gen 6 kit. I need it to work. I need it to work quick. And so a lot of times when we're talking projector, in the past, we would always talk HID and Gen 6 mainly. Recently, we actually designed and launched, actually last week was the official launch, the P-Series Projector Perfect. And so that is now a technology that's specifically designed for the projector lens. And so that gives a perfect beam with no spray marks, no shadowing, no reduction in performance. And when we get to that slide, you'll see why we designed that piece. Now, when it comes to the reflector lens, we've kind of said, hey, you can go with HID or LED on this. And so, all of our lines, whether it be an LED or the HID lines, is open for the reflector lens. So obviously there's a bunch more details in here in the bullet points, but that's really the summary of this slide.
I'm going to put in my 2 cents here. So projectors have always been a problem with the latest LED technology, as Steve was mentioning. And it's something that unfortunately isn't spoken about enough, because really there just ain't that many solutions out there right now. So I'm pretty excited to see what you guys have come up with to cure that problem, because of the way the projector emits light. There's always holes or gaps in the spread. So I'd like to see what you guys did with that.
And the simple fact behind that, Ben, is that a lot of these LEDs are 2-sided or 3-sided.
Correct.
So it doesn't give it a true 360. And that's the reason why you get that weird spread, or those shadowing is what we call it, And that's the reason why. And this projector LED that we're recommending will fix those problems.
Specific for this problem.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
And just real quick to end this slide, we've been training on this for 5 years and trying to give dealers the raw truth on projectors, even though they want to shove LEDs in there. And the problem is we've had a lot of competitors that have been like, oh yeah, ours work in projectors. And they just don't. And that's why they keep coming back to the Gen 6 HID. But now they do have that P-Series option in our lineup, and so we'll get there.
And the HIDs look good in projectors. Let's not lie. I mean, they look really good in there.
Hey, listen, I'm going to be honest with Ben. Me and Ignacio will agree. I'm gonna tell you what's on our vehicles: Gen 6 HID. As much
in
as,
your projectors?
yeah. Well, I don't have projectors.
I do.
He does have projectors.
Okay.
We actually used his Mopar platform vehicle to do some of the on-road testing with the P series and get that designed correctly. And so at the end of the day, as much as it was great for launch, we're still
Yeah,
HID fans.
it's really a great option for sure. Okay.
So moving on, this is the CAN bus decoders. And so I'm not going to go a ton into CAN bus decoders. I think a lot of dealers know, why we have this product, and we do have this available in our lineup. The fact is, in some of the kits that we're going to talk about, we actually include the CAN bus decoders in the kit so that, dealers don't get into a situation where they, buy a kit that's supposed to work and they put it on a vehicle and now they're in the install bay and they're stuck. The Gen 6 HID has all the CAN bus decoder technology.
I don't know what's happening on the audio side. There's something weird's going on.
Experiencing a little bit of glitching here. Let's hopefully this will clear up real quick.
Rain over there.
All right, yeah, if you can hear us, Ben,
There we go.
Yep.
Yeah, we included the CAN bus decoders in the next few products, so we'll go ahead and go into those.
All right.
I wonder if it's us. Grant, can you hear us?
I can hear you fine now. Yeah, there's some weird music stuff going in the background. I don't know if Ben looks like he's frozen.
Yeah.
Just double checking.
Ben, if you can hear us, if you can go to the next slide.
Yeah, let's let him come back in and we'll move on to some product.
Are you guys seeing this?
Yeah. Well, I can. There's no presentation up there right now.
Oh. Okay. Hold on.
You having another weather system go through your house?
I might be. It might be. Yeah.
Yeah.
There we go. There we go.
All right. There we go.
All right. So what Steve was talking about, this is what we consider our Gen 6 HID kit. This is the type of kit that I will go to bat with. I love this product here, man. I take this product to any customer that has had a bad taste in their mouth in regards to HIDs and say, will fix your issues there. We give this ballast a lifetime warranty. It is a plug and play kit. Those Mopar vehicles, especially Dodge Rams, in particular, because everybody knows how those Rams are. This is a plug and play, true plug and play kit. The ballast itself has the technology for communication with CAN bus. If the vehicle is looking for some type of resistance, it will have that in there also. And it also has a capacitor of sorts in regards to bringing up that 6 to 9 volts up to 12 volts. It's typically the issues that you have with a lot of vehicles when you put in aftermarket lighting in that vehicle, for the most part. As you see, we have it in various different bulb bases. This is the kit that we recommend. This is the kit that Steve and I have on our vehicles personally, and they work really, really well.
Solve all.
The solve all. Yep. The next slide, you'll see our version 2. So as you guys know, a lot of customers will say, "Oh, I want LED because LED is instant on." HID takes a little bit to warm up. Well, we solved that with doing the version 2. Basically, what this bulb does is once it turns on, you have true light, and it actually gets brighter with time. So it takes about 12 seconds, you would say, to get full light. So when you have that customer says, "Oh, well, I want an HID kit, I don't want to do LEDs," this will be the kit that I recommend. We also give it a lifetime warranty on the ballast, and we're actually also offering a lifetime warranty on the bulbs. We know that this will work. It's also a true plug and play. Everything that the Gen 6 originally had in regards to technology, this kit also has it as well.
Just to be clear, it is the same ballast, the Gen 6. The total change on the version 2 kit is the bulbs. They are completely designed for an instant ignition. Ramp, and they don't need a ramp up time. They fire like an LED, and just the way they're designed, they they last much longer than the traditional xenon bulb.
I'm going to assume this is at a higher price point, the V2s.
Yeah, it's about $10 higher.
Yep.
Okay.
It's not an insane amount either.
Okay.
The next one is the one that we've been talking about.
I see what you guys did, you sneaky guys. I get it now.
So as you see in the picture, this is, like I said, it's going to give you that true 360 light output. As we talked previously with a lot of the LEDs, they're all two-sided or three-sided, will not work for projectors, definitely not recommended. This kit here will be your solve for that. As we talked about canvas decoders, this kit will also have the canvas decoders in the same kit. So it gives you that true 360. If the vehicle needs any type of communication, it has those canvas decoders for it in there too. As you see in the lux output, this is a 3950 lux per bulb. So you're looking at close to 8,000 lux for the kit on your headlight. As you heard, the more lux you get, the more light you will get on the road. So this will be, and this is our brightest LED kit that we have right now in the market.
I got some questions here. This is new product, so obviously I'm going to have some questions. So your standard line, I'm sorry, I don't know all the denominations yet, but your regular bulb line, how much lux does it generate?
So I'll jump in on that one. So that's complex. We got like several different lines that range anywhere from 1900 lux up to this 3950. And when I say that, I'm talking about per bulb.
Yep. Per bulb.
So you can double that per kit. So this right now is our top lux output unit.
This is interesting because what I was worried about was that single LED on the tip that you'd actually lose lux rating, but actually you're saying that this is the highest output bulb you have in your range. Why has this not been out earlier? I'm just curious. Like we've known about this projector issue for years. So what was the challenge? Excuse me.
So, I think part of the challenge is, some of our lighting competitors, they're not forward thinking or thinking solution. They're just wondering, what they have overseas for them, and they're selling what's out of the box. This is a product like our next product that we're going to show, our Gen 4 and our Gen 6 that we previously showed, where we engineered the product. We have patents on them, pair of patents pending, and we have trademarks on these. Like, we looked at the problem and said, what needs to happen for us to get to the next level of technology? It even took us a few years to really get here. I mean, we've been also trying to get to that endpoint of the evolution to put an LED in a projector. So it takes R&D, testing.
Very good. Question coming in from FedZ. The warranty in the LED P series, I think it's marked here on the screen, Feddy. It says 3 years.
There's a 3-year warranty.
Yeah, if you look at the icons, there's an icon bar at the bottom. I know they're not, depending on how the resolution of the screen, you'll see that 3-year warranty icon at the end of the bar. Mm-hmm. So if you're doing expediting business, dealership business, great piece.
And what's the type of cooling here?
So most of our lines actually use a fanless setup. This is the only product that actually has a micro turbo fan, which is a newer style type of fan, different than what dealers are used to in the past that would fail and cause problems or failures in the field. But the micro turbo fan, because of how high the lux output is, we do got to cool that down. It is an assistant to bring it off. So most of the heat dissipation comes into the back and is dissipated. The rest of it is assisted with the micro turbo fan.
All right.
And I will tell you, because I know people will ask, will you hear the fan? I had it on my Jeep and I cannot hear it. So people do worry about that. There was no fan noise.
All right.
Product. So the next thing will be our Gen 4 LED kit. Did you want to talk about this one?
Yeah, I want to talk about this. Yeah, so this is actually, we've been issued 2 patents on this. We have 2 licensed patents on this from somebody else in the industry. So there's actually 4 patents on this product. And so you'll see this is fanless braided rope heat sink style. It has a 360 clockable ratchet style base. It can pretty much mount into almost a 0 depth based on how it is. It has a high lux output at 2700 lux. So this, as far as lux output, this is our second highest lux performer. So if you go into the next slide, we actually, usually the main question people ask is like, well, what's patented? And so you'll see the anti-glare focus cup. And so You know, what is the reason for this? Obviously, people that are concerned about putting in a high performance premium LED kit are concerned about light going onto oncoming traffic. And so the way these lock in with the anti-glare focus cup, it keeps the light down the road where it needs to be and out of oncoming traffic. And then you'll see the Medusa style fanless heatsink ropes. And so that's a great way to actually not only be able to dissipate the heat to the back of the bulb, but also these things can flex around the back of the lens to fit anywhere. And they can do that in a 360 fashion, not just up or down or sideways. Like
they can flower.
It can go everywhere and flower out, exactly. And so that's key. And then some of the, you know, the licensed technology as far as the chipsets, and then also on our patent, we also have the ratchetable clockable style base. And so a lot of people will use like a set screw. And you can ask any installer how fun that is when they can barely get their hands.
Try to get to the screw with a screwdriver.
Yeah, to turn the set screw. With this, if it goes in and the bulb is not in the perfect projection location, they can go back with their bulb without even seeing it and just literally ratchet it.
Click, 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 click.
Yep, exactly.
Cool. Very nice features. I like that anti-glare focus cup. I've never seen that before.
Yeah, it's a neat feature.
Probably because it's patented.
Absolutely.
All right.
So taking a look at the time, I'm going to move through this a little bit quick. Basically, this is nationwide as far as the volume. If dealers were looking at like, hey, I want to sell something that's a very high volume, turns quick, really this is our PNP, our Terminator, and our Drive Series V2. I will note that even though it's not shown in the picture, this kit is a premium kit that does come with the CAN bus decoders. It does have a 3-year warranty. The Terminator in the middle, that is our #1 nationwide volume seller everywhere. And then the PMP is a really solid seller as well. You know, these are OEM. The PMP and the Drive Series, the key thing is these are OEM sized to the halogen bulbs. And so for dealers that have been concerned about fitment issues, you know, most of these kits that we just showed solve a lot of those problems, but these particular ones, PNP and Drive Series, are halogen-sized bulbs solutions.
All right.
And then kind of going into the next one, each of those lines, the PNP and the Terminator, they have their own interior, exterior replacement bulbs. And so the Terminator has a little bit more brightness to it, but the PMP is not far behind on these, and the PMP has more variation in color. So for like example, the T10s, not only can you get in a cool white, but you can get in a warm white, a pink, ice blue. A lot of things the Terminator will give you your simple basic white, amber, and red colors. The PMP, you get kind of a whole variety of colors. The other thing I like with the PMP is it actually has an environmental cover over the whole diode chipset, which basically prevents corrosion, which is
I was just going to say, these look so much better than the cheapy ones you find on Amazon, you know, all exposed and plasticky looking.
Yep, absolutely. Yeah. And then I'll just mention on the Terminator, in the picture, you'll see there's basically a mini projector at the end of the bulb, which gives it great distance. So like if you really want to get out there with like a backup bulb, the Terminator really does the job. And then we go into light bars. Again, you know, it's kind of a category we've been in a long time, you know, probably since 2009. And we have some bars that have been flagship bars. The first one is one of those, the Eco Series. It's just a great flagship piece that comes in straight bars and wraparounds and has cubes and flush mounts into the line. It has a nice retail package, and the price point is just very sweet. And so if dealers are concerned about, I need something to be competitive with, the Eco Series is usually the solution to that. And nationwide, this is our #1 selling light bar line. Going to the middle, this is a product that we launched 2 years ago, our Low Pro Dual Function, which is our first on and off-road light bar, which actually produces a low power amber, like marker light basically on the light bar. So, and then it has the off-road high power feature on the white LED. And so this comes with the harness and a 3-position switch to be able to control it. And so I can tell you, I have these on my vehicles, and I'm running a lot of amber on the front, so I got some low power safety lighting as I'm running. When I actually need it, I flip the switch and I have some off-road lighting. So a really nice piece. The other thing is this is one of the thinnest light bars in the marketplace. It's great for fitting in bumpers and valances and small areas that traditional light bars are not going to fit into. And then going to the third one on the right, that's our brand new Roadrunner series. And so this is a DOT compliant light bar that specifically has optics that are focused on the light going on the road. A lot of times when you think of light bars, you think it needs to go as wide as possible. Yeah. But, you know, obviously if you're using that on a work or commercial vehicle and you're on the road, that creates a significant problem for oncoming traffic, where this bar is something that in design with the optics to keep the light away from oncoming traffic and straight ahead and off to the sidewalk area as needed. Additionally, we actually have the lens on this. When designed, we were kind of thinking about the Northern Hemisphere and how a lot of light bars cake up with ice. And so if they're out there plowing or trying to work and they get clogged up with ice on their light bar, it's not very effective. And so we actually add about 20 to 30 degrees to the lens with some heat contacts on the lens that actually melt the ice off of the light bar.
Kind of important for us up here.
A little important, yeah.
Little important. Maybe not in Vancouver there.
East of the Rockies, it's important.
Yeah, there you go. There you go. Rub it in. All right.
Now I see we're coming up on 53 minutes, so I don't know if we're going to get through all the slides. We
can quickly go through them real quick here.
You want to go through them? All right. So the Color Adapt line is a series of products that are controlled by remote control. I know that the picture down in the middle shows a smartphone. That actually probably should be on the next slide, but these actually use a keypad and a key fob remote. And we have our underbody kits, interior, wheel well. We have a motorcycle kit in this line, and a light bar line actually in this with halos on the light bar. They're all controlled by remotes. I can tell you that RSU kit right there is the #1 nationwide selling SKU that we have in our entire line. It comes in a fabulous retail box. It's aluminum channel. It's solid. And as underbody kits come back, this has been a top seller. And that RSI kit pairs with it.
I love underbody kits. I don't know why they went away. Seriously.
They're not, man. They're coming back.
I'm just happy they're back.
I was out last night. There was a few guys on the road last night with them. Like, you're going to get a ticket because you're driving with purple lights on. But
yeah,
absolutely. Now, this is really the same conversation, except this is our Color Smart line, and this is all smartphone controlled. And so again, we have underbody, interior, wheel wells. We do also have a full LED wheel kit that actually mounts to the dust shields of the brake system. And so Grant's actually holding up the rock light, which is also in the Color Smart line. And so if you don't use the underbody kit, this is also a great alternative to the underbody kit.
We love rock lights. Rock lights are cool.
Yep.
There they are.
Again, kind of just talked about it. Won't go too much into it. Our RGB plus W. Key thing in this slide, plus W. There's a lot of RGB rock lights out there. But when customers want a pure white, it's usually a blend of colors. It's kind of muddy. We put an additional white diode in here to give you that perfect white. This kit comes in a 4, 6, 8, and 12 pod kit. We do have extensions of 9 and I believe, is it 15?
Yes.
9 and 15 foot extensions that are optional pieces that are available for this kit for longer runs. And then we get into our marine sport lighting, our fastest growing category in industry by far. There's a lot of different products in here, but here's 6 of the core products. Our marine grade light bars come in a straight and a wraparound style. Just people love those bars. We've definitely showed up on the shelves a lot of places with these light bars. Our docking spreader lights are right here called the aux lights. Really kind of pair with that. The strip lighting, it's not shown here. We have a new Raceport strip that almost looks like a neon tube, customizable strip.
Yeah, it doesn't have the hot spotting on it. It looks like a solid neon strip, yeah.
I remember Trend brought a little bit of that in, so they'll have a little bit of that. And then we have our underwater lights, and can't go too much into detail here, but we have a whole a la carte hydro blast line that's really neat to look at. Our navigation lights are kind of a newer addition to this line, and then our switches and our gauges and charging
Man,
ports.
we could almost do another connected session just on.
You
we
could
didn't
do-
even touch
You
power
almost
sports
go-
and bike yet. We haven't even.
Racesport Lighting.
Yeah. Okay. Listen, this is something
Jeep,
we want
Ford,
to get
Dodge Ram.
Grant, all you, buddy.
Yeah, so what we wanted to do was kick it off in a big way. So together with Racesport, we've got a very, very aggressive employee purchase program for our dealers and their employees. Obviously, if we feel that if you have it on your own vehicle, you're more likely to talk about it to your consumers. So we're going to do an ongoing 35% off our regular dealer invoice pricing. But until the end of November, Steve has graciously kicked in an additional 10%. So you get 45 off of dealer invoice for your own personal vehicle. So don't be loading up your friends and family. This is for you, your employees. Sell them at a regular price. But for employees, a very aggressive 45% off until the end of November. So we wanted to kick that off with a bang.
Man, you got to love that. Good job on Raceport and Trends on that one. I want to go back here. Something super important is the opening order form, which kind of goes hand to hand with that employee pricing offer.
Yeah, so the starter kit, they've put together their top sellers, and that's just one of each item, but that just gives you an idea. If someone's not sure what they want to get started with, they have their top seller starter pack, which is one of each of the following, and, that'll get you a good taste of what's going to be successful in your stores. Again, at the bottom of that is they're showing their Raceport displays. It's proven to be like 2 to 3 times more sales success when you have it on display. It acts like a silent salesperson. You have to tell a guy how bright it is. The guy can see how bright it is. So that's important. So we're going to have all those displays available. We'll have the slat wall countertop ones in stock, and then obviously the larger wall mount ones can either be made to custom order or as you need it for your store.
You know what I see there? Free shipping on your first order. Boom. Mic drop.
Yeah,
Take advantage.
I might take that off.
It's there. It's too late. This is already
It's too late. It's dropped. Free shipping on your first
there.
order.
It's already there.
Yeah,
Gentlemen,
that's all good.
We are down to the wire, but we got her in. I think we have no choice, Grant. You better arrange for maybe a part 2 because I feel like we just got.
Yeah, we got to dig deep. We got to dig deeper. We can go into
but I think
individual
it was
categories.
It was a great first one. We got to know the guys. We got to know the brand. Gave us a little bit of training. We do appreciate that. Of course, is where you get your learn on. I want to take this opportunity to thank Ignacio and Steve for taking the time with us today. Thank you for hooking up.
Thanks so much, guys. Appreciate it.
Products to our market, and thank you for even creating the Canadian website. The kudos, absolutely, all around.
It's a big deal. That way you don't have to talk about U.S. pricing and exchange rates, all that stuff. It's all going to be at Canadian MSRP. So
yeah,
it's awesome.
We absolutely appreciate it. I'm going to get you off the studio, but hang around a little bit, and we'll circle back with you in a little bit. Thank you.
All right, sounds good. Thank you, guys.
Grant, let's wrap it up. Congratulations to Trends. Great line.
Thank you very much.
You're into lighting. You're offering dealers an opportunity to get on board with a brand like Raceport. What message? I mean, we already talked about the deal. We already talked about the employee. What's the last thing you want to say?
I just think it's important that, the category is growing huge all across the country, all across North America. And we wanted to be part of that and see some success with it. And, it helps when customers putting their orders together. If you're a little bit short of prepaid freight, you can add some Raceport LED light bulbs and hit your prepaid. So we're super stoked, man. This could easily double our business in the coming years. So, no other better way to do it. And like I said, we've been working with these guys on not over the weekend, but for some serious time putting this deal together. So I appreciate their patience. And we hope it's a massive success for everybody.
Well, if Trends does it like the way I know you guys do, it's going to kick some butt. Grant, thank you so much for another good one, and good luck with Raceport here in Canada.
Thanks, Ben. Take care, buddy.
Take care. There you have it, guys. Another lunchtime learning session all about Racesport Lighting and Trends Electronics, their new distributor for Canada. They have a brand new website. You want to check that out if you want more information. I'm going to go ahead and put that up one more time. Get a hold of Trends Electronics. You can visit them at trendsinc.com or call them at 1-877-946-9255 and ask specifically for Grant McFatter because he loves to hear from you guys, the dealers. That's it. Thanks for tuning in. Another lunchtime learning session here on CMA Connected presented by SiriusXM. I'm your host, Ben Wu. Until next time, we connect.